Hello, children. Today I will start with the last story of your class 9 syllabus, that is An Angel in Disguise. An Angel in Disguise is a beautiful, heart touching story written by American author T.S. Arthur in 1851. Arthur wrote stories with compassion and sensitivity. In this story, too, he describes the transformative and restorative power of selfless love. It relates to the advent of Maggie, a frail young orphan, into the lives of wheelwright Joe Thompson and his wife Jane. The child's presence had a miraculous effect on the lives of Mr. and Mrs. Thompson. They thought they are helping her by adopting her. However, Maggie turned out to be the one who took away the negativity from their lives and brought them happiness. Now I'll start with the story. Now here there lived a poor woman in a village and she had 3 children. But she was hated by everyone in the village because of her laziness and because of her bad habits. One day she fell down upon the threshold of her own door in a drunken fit and died in the presence of her frightened little children. After her death, a change was seen in the attitude of the villagers towards her. Earlier she was despised, that is, she was hated, scoffed at, that is, she was mocked at, and angrily denounced, that is, she was accused or blamed by every villager. But after her death, people started talking about her in subdued tones. That is, they started talking about her in soft voices. Pity took the place of anger, and sorrow took the place of denunciation. Neighbors went quickly to the old tumble-down hut. Some came with grave clothes for a decent burial, and some with food for the half-starving children. There were 3 children. John was the oldest. He was 12 years old and was a strong lad who was able to earn his living with any farmer. The second was Kate, a girl between 10 and 11 years. She was a bright and active girl. And the youngest was poor little Maggie, who was hopelessly sick. 2 years before, she had fallen from a window and injured her spine, and since then she had been bedridden. After the mother's death, the villagers were concerned as to what was to be done with the children. After considering the matter, Farmer Jones decided to take John and do well by him. Mrs. Ellis thought it would be charitable to take Kate, but nobody was ready to take Maggie. People looked at her with pity, and they looked at her sick body also. Some mothers removed her dirty clothes and dressed her in clean clothes. The sad eyes and patient face of Maggie touched many hearts, but nobody was willing to take a bedridden child. A rough man suggested that she should be taken to the poorhouse. A poorhouse is a place where orphans or other people who have nobody to look after them are kept. So taking Maggie to the poorhouse will be a blessed change for her, because there she will be kept clean, have healthy food, and be doctored. The day after the death was the day of burial, and after the coffin was taken out, Farmer Jones placed John in his wagon and drove away. Mrs. Ellis also told Kate to bid goodbye to her sister, and then separated the 2 crying sisters and took Kate away. The other villagers left the hut quickly. Some looked at Maggie and some deliberately did not look at her and left. At last, Maggie was all alone. Only Joe Thompson, the wheelwright. A wheelwright is somebody who repairs wheels. So only Joe Thompson paused outside the door. He stopped the blacksmith's wife and said to her that it was a cruel thing to leave little Maggie like that. But she just answered that Maggie should be taken to the poorhouse and went away from there. Joe Thompson was puzzled and confused at first, and then he went inside the hut. With painful effort, Maggie had raised herself and she was sitting on the bed. There was a vague terror on her thin white face. She cried out to Mr. Thompson not to leave her all alone. Though rough in exterior, Joe Thompson had a tender heart. He liked children and he used to mend sleds and wagons of the village boys for free. Then he told Maggie that she won't be left alone, and he wrapped her gently in clean bedclothes and lifting her in his strong arms carried her across the field to his home. Now Joe Thompson's wife was childless, due to which she was a vinegar-tempered, that is, a bad-tempered lady. And Joe had doubts as to how they would be received by her. Mrs. Thompson saw her husband coming and met him a few paces from the door. Joe Thompson carried the precious burden, that is Maggie, and his arms held the sick child close to his chest. And as he held that child close to his chest, a soft feeling went out from her and penetrated his feelings. A bond of love had already developed between them. When Mrs. Thompson sharply questioned him as to what he had there, he did not reply, but looked at her pleadingly. Then he carried Maggie to the small chamber on the first floor and laid her on a bed. Then he came out, shut the door, and faced his wife. Again she asked if he had brought that sick child home. There was anger and astonishment in her tone. Joe said that women's hearts were sometimes very hard. Usually, whenever his wife was angry, then Joe used to get out of his wife's way or kept silent and non-combative. But that day, she faced the firm face and resolute eyes of Joe. Then she said that women's hearts were not half so hard as men's. Joe saw that his resolute bearing had impressed his wife, and he said angrily that every woman at the funeral turned her eyes away from Maggie and hurried away, leaving the child alone in the hut and the sun going to set. Then Mrs. Thompson wanted to know where John and Kate were. Joe told her that Farmer Jones had taken away John and Mrs. Ellis had taken Kate, but nobody wanted Maggie. Joe told his wife that Maggie could not walk to the poorhouse and somebody's arms must carry her, and his arms were strong enough for that task. But before he took her to the poorhouse, he will have to take permission from the guardians there. The guardians are the people who are in charge of the poorhouse, and they are the ones who look after the children there. So when Mrs. Thompson asked when he would see the guardians, Joe said that he would see them the next day. But his wife told him not to put it off for the next day. He should go at once for the permit and take her away that night itself. So this much for today, children. The rest of the story I will explain in the next video.